There are media buyers right now that are still buying Facebook ads like it's 2022. And in 2025, if you don't learn how to actually change the way you media buy, you will get left behind. I know this video is going to be a little bit controversial and it's going to challenge a lot of mainstream narratives, but I've been diving so deep into Meta's backend infrastructure, Gem, Lattice, Sequence Learning, Andromeda, and it's really difficult to unsee what I found and what I uncovered. And the best part is that this isn't theory. It's based on Meta's own published work, their own backend engineering blogs, and what I've observed firsthand running ads through the system. And what everybody else is telling me after I made this massive post on Facebook. And this isn't really about being right. It's about having a real conversation about the platform that we as Meta advertisers use every single day. And that few people understand exactly what's under the hood. And I get it. It's really going to ruffle some feathers. And if you disagree, in the comment section below, I genuinely want to hear why you disagree. And I know you're going to have a great argument for it, and I get it. I've heard so many different arguments for it. But this is actually what's upon us. So let's get into it. So Meta played on us. And the reason why most gurus said trust the system got it wrong, and why the don't listen to Meta era happened and what was mostly valid. 2 to 3 years ago, that skepticism was earned, and today some of it still is. The reality is that Meta's AI ambitions were way ahead of its infrastructure, meaning that Meta has always wanted to position itself as smart enough to optimize everything for you. Just upload your ads, trust the algorithm, they said. But the truth, and what most advertisers don't actually know about the engine that drives the results on Meta, the actual machine, the actual infrastructure, is that the algorithm wasn't actually that smart yet. And that's the big thing here. It couldn't truly personalize creative delivery per user. It couldn't learn long tail behavior sequences, and it couldn't detect nuanced ad journeys or signal fragmentation. It couldn't evaluate post-click behavior effectively. And then it left me asking the question, why? Why did Meta say those things? And what triggered it? Well, first, we need to look back at what happened in those years. Post iOS 14, 2021. The pixel data broke, leaving us with incomplete data, making it difficult for Facebook to fully utilize and optimize the user journey as it once had pre-iOS 14. Because if you think about it, before, what Facebook was able to do was understand the whole journey from start to finish because it had that post-click data coming in. And that was massive for them. There was so much rich data that they could tie back to a very specific user and very specific user behaviors. But after iOS 14, the pixel broke. Conversion tracking fell apart, and we couldn't see which ad was causing the conversions. But on our backend, we knew conversions were happening. It was really difficult to track UTMs, right? It was really difficult to track attribution. There were moments in which Facebook would show you that you had 30 sales, and in the backend, you would have 10. It would say that you had 5 leads, but in the back end, you had 15. And we lost a lot of that. During that exact same time, when it lost all that signal and lost all that data from iOS 14, Meta lost $10 billion. And even Meta themselves said it here. Here's one quote from Meta's leadership in February 2022. With Apple's iOS changes and new regulation in Europe, there's a clear trend where less data is available to deliver personalized ads. So we're rebuilding a lot of our ads infrastructure so we continue to grow and deliver high quality personal ads. And I'll cite that in the comments. You guys will be able to see that. It came directly from one of their press conference. So what did Meta advertise and other gurus advise as well? Like, don't get me wrong, myself included here, right? Because this is the recommendation that I got for Facebook, and this is what I saw was working. It said, go broad. Facebook needed more data quality by increasing our targeting. We were able to scale further due to the fact that Facebook would be able to have a wider net of data to profile. Now, this is still true, right? This is what it recommended in the past, post iOS 14, but it is still true today. Broad is still the best way to scale an ad account, undoubtedly. There's no dispute in that. We see the evidence all over the place. Let the algorithm learn. It needed to because Facebook didn't have the data that it did before. It needed time to report back delayed attribution and try to pull any and all information from where it could, such as the user behavior, right? The post click, any type of information that it could absolutely pull. It said to use a unified account structure to consolidate all of your ads into either one campaign or one campaign where you're testing and just different ad sets, right? And this was created so that Facebook could have all of its data in that one place, in that one campaign, so that it can increase the volume of the signal quality and lower the signal fragmentation that was happening, meaning that it just overall was able to get more data into it via a very focused focal point. So to run Advantage Plus, even though Advantage Plus had not been performing, people still push this. I mean, it's not something that I pushed a lot. I didn't see it performing too well, but it is something that people pushed a lot. And to be honest, not all that advice was wrong. Just early. Trust the algorithm, go broad, let the system learn. They were merely just prescriptions for a future infrastructure that Facebook had envisioned because, again, back to that press conference quote, Facebook said, I am rebuilding the infrastructure because of this loss in data, because of iOS 14. So because of this, we were trying to use all that we were learning and building inside the system. It's why we saw massive swings in volatility. It's why we were playing, future advice in past environments. But here's the big kicker and something that no one really is talking about and why we need to have this discussion as Facebook advertisers. And I don't see anyone on YouTube talking about this. I don't see anyone on Facebook talking about this. I only see maybe one or two people on Twitter actually discussing this in depth. And I believe it's such an important conversation for us to have because Meta in 2025 is going to shift dramatically. This is my personal opinion and my personal hypothesis based on what we know already. Meta's recommendations, they really made sense from their perspective. Like they were trying to regain all the control and regain the money that they had lost. As a publicly traded company, they relied on us, the advertisers, right? People who actually built businesses and brands within Facebook and helped them become a multi-billion-dollar business. They needed us. So they were trying to regain control. So they were telling us, hey, I need you guys to go broad. I need you guys to consolidate. I need you to do this. And the question is that I asked myself is why did they push advice that was poorly timed? Or at best worked on and off like a light switch, toying with our emotions like a roller coaster, up and down because of the volatility that we saw in ad accounts. One day was great, the next day it sucked, and we were going, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my job, either if you're a media buyer or you're in-house media buyer, or you're someone who runs their own ads for their own info products or their own lead generation. I mean, I do that, right? So we all felt this. In simple terms, Meta lost their map. They told you to trust the car, that it's going to take you somewhere. But that car didn't know where the road was and it didn't know the map. But it worked for Meta at a macro level. It simplified the load on their auction systems. It consolidated the data so they could rebuild models, and it prevented advertisers from making things worse by wildly testing. It reduced customer support tickets so they didn't have to deal with the headaches. They could focus more on their engineering team, right? And allowed them to roll out Advantage Plus faster. Now, Advantage Plus is here to stay, and it's going to be, and it is right now, a way that you're going to rebuild your campaigns. This is a given. You're still going to have manual campaigns. You're still going to run those ones with, local lead gen or local targeting. Those are still going to happen. Those are still going to exist. But Advantage Plus is starting to become the norm, and it will become the norm. In 2025, there's going to be an update, and I'll roll that out here soon, where it does talk about that, right? Advantage Plus is going to happen. So Meta optimized for Meta, and it tried to give us the best recommendations as to while they rolled out the updates. And that's why some media buyers said, don't blindly follow Meta's advice. It will take your performance. And you know what? They were right at the time. So what changed now? And here's the huge shift, what no one is saying. In late 2023, early 2025, Meta rolled out Lattice, a massive breakthrough in pattern recognition, and it replaced DLRM. It rolled out sequence learning, true path-based optimization per user, GEM, real-time creative ranking engine using multi-model data, text, image, video, user behavior. and Andromeda, which is a big one right now. I heard Taylor Holiday from CTC talking about this, and he did a brilliant job. So if you have some chance to go check it out, I would highly suggest checking out Taylor's video on Andromeda and how that's changing Advantage Plus as well. A hyper-fast retrieval engine to serve ads at scale in the right order. What this means, simply put, is that Lattice is really understanding how the user behaves inside of the platform. Sequence learning is creating a path or journeys or user journeys based on the user themselves, right? Let's say myself, how I scroll on Facebook. Sequence learning and Lattice together are actually creating a path, a journey inside of Facebook that will seriously change the way that users see ads and the sequence in which they see ads. Gem, it ranks the creative. It's saying that, okay, this is most likely to work with this type of user based on our ranking, internal ranking system. We don't get to see this, but Gem is like the closest way we can actually see this. Andromeda, what it does is it serves the ads at scale. So within milliseconds, it's already determining what ads need to go to what user and in which order. And that happens instantaneously. They're choosing from over tens of millions of ads. Absolutely insane, using trillions of data points. And again, this is something I know I was talking about. Recently, Meta just started integrating with Google Analytics and Google, and they're integrating the systems. Why? Data enrichment. They want to increase the total number of data, and they want to understand user behavior, not only inside a platform, but also post-click as well. And that's what Google tells the information. It brings it back, right? If you look at what is called EAR, right? Estimated action rate. What happens within EAR is that you have this auction that you technically enter in when you're working with, like when you advertise in Meta. And within that auction, Andromeda will determine whether or not you're in prime real estate, you're in lower real estate, or you're struggling to even get into the auction, which is going to throttle your EAR. It's going to throttle your estimated action rate. It's really going to hurt your ads, right? So this is just wild to me that this needs to be discussed. So that's why I'm discussing it. And guys, these aren't just UI features. This isn't, hey, create ads with my AI or enhance these ads. No, they're actual back-end infrastructure rebuilds, like completely rebuilt out from 2023 to 2025. It's insane. So now for the first time, Meta can actually deliver the right message to the right person based on behavioral sequencing. They reward ad journeys, not just ad winners. They personalize creative delivery beyond interest targeting or basic demographic groups. If you look at this, the last one is they personalize delivery beyond interest targeting or basic demographic groups. They are getting rid of almost all of interest targeting and going almost all completely broad. It's crazy. And this is a big reason why. Because of these changes, Facebook is now taking these clusters, these groups of people, right? So with the way that Facebook likes to work is it creates a cluster, a group, or a lookalike audience, right? That's why when we see purchasers, we can go and create lookalike audience. If you think about it, Facebook is actually doing that in real time. So it's gathering all that data. So what's happening is that now that it has all these different data points, and Google will also enrich the data that's coming into their platform as well, post-click, they're going to be able to see these interest groups and these demographic groups and really hone in on them and send the right creative to that right person and the right journey and the right path to that right journey. So what now? The backend is finally caught up. My really honest take, the new Meta must be understood because the system is so sophisticated. We're not in a trust Meta blindly mode. We're not going to do that, guys. We're in a learn how to think like Meta systems so that you can co-pilot performance mode. Simply put, we are just learning how Meta actually works so that we can have our marketing dollars go the furthest, so that we can lower volatility and increase scalability. That's it, simply put. And further than that, we as media buyers, either if you're an agency, an in-house media buyer, someone that runs your own ads, we need to understand and have these honest discussions, because if we don't open up these discussions, we are going to spend more and more time trying to guess and less time trying to figure out how Meta actually works and the system actually works. The more people that are in this conversation, the more we can get this understood, right? The more we can create really great trainings around this. So a big thing that I want to say here is that because most media buyers aren't aware of these shifts yet, even though they're live, we need to have these real discussions. about the actual platform that we're running ads on. This just needs to happen. Now the question is this new system, Lattice, Gem, Sequence Learning, Andromeda in full effect? Yes, they are already live. 100%. They're in your ad accounts right now. They're not beta tools. They are the foundation of Meta ads delivery infrastructure right now. They are powering all campaigns, manual or Advantage Plus, lead gen or e-commerce, broad or interest-based, static or video, GIF or carousel, local lead gen, or all over the world in multiple different countries. They are quietly running underneath your ad account right now, whether you realize it or not, whether you understand it or not. But how do we know this advice isn't early on? Again, that's a question I keep asking myself again, right? If it was early before, why isn't it early now? That's the real question we must ask. Because this time, the infrastructure is actually here, and we have the engineering papers to prove it. Lattice, Gem, Andromeda, Sequence Learning, they're not beta, they're not coming soon. They're already evaluating every single ad you run right now. And the difference is that in 2021 to 2022, we were guessing what Meta systems could do. And Meta was hypothesizing what their systems could do. In 2025, we're aligning with systems that are already live, documented, and powering delivery across every objective format and funnel type. Guys, think about this. From 2023 to 2025, it's only 2 years, but billions of dollars have been spent on Meta's platform. During that time, scaled businesses to millions of dollars. I personally scaled a business to $1 million in 2023 using Meta's platform. So this game isn't just, let's just trust Meta blindly. It's, let's understand this deeply because it's here, because the backend is caught up. And now it's time for us to think similar to the machine if we want to scale inside of it. We want to think and have user behavior profiles in our messaging, in our targeting, in the way we speak to them, because the machine will start to reward that. So if you're running ads in 2025, you're already being evaluated by Gem for creative ranking, Andromeda for auction entry and delivery quality, Lattice for pattern recognition, Sequence Learning for behavior aware delivery. And this is, guys, I'm going to share an analogy with you because I think this is super important for everybody to understand. This is no different than how Meta recommends shows based on your viewing habits, right? If you look at episode 1 of How I Met Your Mother, it might recommend episode 2 of How I Met Your Mother. And it might recommend Peaky Blinders. It might recommend other shows similar to it. It might recommend Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It does that based on your user behavioral pattern. And Facebook and Meta is finally starting to do that. And that's how it works, right? Because if you look at Netflix, they don't actually have any external data points that they're really pulling from. They don't. They don't have this, oh, I have a pixel on someone's site and I'm pulling that data from them. No, they just have user behavior inside of the platform. It's how TikTok works. It's how TikTok knows what video to serve you next, depending on what your mood is in that moment. This is super important. Meta's new infrastructure works exactly the same way. It watches what people do, not just who they are, and delivers ads accordingly. So this means that depending on the day and the time that you hop into the actual platform, either Meta or Facebook, what Facebook is doing is like, oh, you hopped on it? Wonderful. What's your behavior like today? Oh, this is how your behavior is today? Wonderful. These are the ads that we're going to serve you on that day. This means that it's crazy to me because this means that behavioral psychology and sequencing are no longer optional. They're the actual engine that's going to drive your growth for Meta ads advertisement. Does this mean that all offers will scale? No. Does this mean the volatility is also gone? Also no. But it does mean this. If you learn how to align your creative messaging and your account structure with user behavior, you will outperform all of the advertisers who are still playing 2022's game. This is a new era of Facebook advertising, guys. System aware, behavior first, and psychology led. And this video isn't to preach. It's to bring awareness of what's actually happening underneath your ad account. My ad accounts, I spend my own money. I spend anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000 per month on my own money. Every single, I've spent over $300,000 of my own money. And I just want to open up this really honest conversation. And I'll include the citations in the comments. Well, I guess not in the comments, but I'll include the citations in the description so you guys can actually read this for yourself. But guys, this is incredible. And this is so powerful. The shift for Meta in 2025 is going to be greater than it ever has been. That means there's going to be advertisers who are left behind and advertisers who are going to fucking succeed. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I want you to fucking succeed. And if no one's talking about it, I will be. So I'll see you guys in the next video. We'll talk a little bit more about account structure, a little bit more about the campaign, a little bit more how we're going to do what I'm going to start calling is sequence creatives, creating creatives based on sequence and learnings and journeys. So I'll discuss that all with you guys. So again, let me know what you guys think. Say something in the comments. I would love to get to know everybody else's opinion. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye.